In the 2022-23 season, the salary cap is sitting at $82.5 million. An average NHL player's salary is $3.5 mil per year, and the minimum wage is $750K. So where does this leave the league superstars? We all know that they're making much more than the league average, and all the power to them. They're pro athletes at the top of their game, so why shouldn't they be getting paid? Here are the top 10 highest paid NHL players in 2022-2023. Johnny Gaudreau, $9.75 million. If Johnny Hockey actually stayed in Calgary, the elite winger would actually be making more money than he currently is. But as we all know, Johnny Gaudreau, who was the biggest name in free agency, took his talents over to Columbus. In his last season with the Flames, Johnny had a career high in both goals and assists, posting 40 goals, 75 assists, adding up to a total of 115 points in 82 regular season games. At the end of his contract with Calgary, it was reported that the Flames were offering him $10.5 million a year, but after 9 years, Gaudreau was interested in talking to some other teams to see what options he had. And sorry to bring this up if you're a Devils fan, but New Jersey was so close to inking a deal with him. Devils GM Tom Fitzgerald told reporters he was convinced Gaudreau was going to be signing with the Devils, but out of nowhere, Columbus called and Johnny Hockey told his agent to get the deal done. An hour later, the deal was done and Johnny Gaudreau signed a 7-year, $68.25 million deal, becoming a Blue Jacket. Tyler Seguin, $9.85 million. Seguin is now in his 13th NHL season. He had some extreme highs in the league, winning a Stanley Cup with Boston in 2011 and being a 6-time All-Star. He's also had some serious lows, especially in the year 2020, and I'm not even talking about the pandemic. Following the 2020 Stanley Cup Finals, Tyler underwent multiple surgeries, one on his knee and one on his hip, which put him in a place where he had to endure grueling rehab as the muscles in his leg were basically non-existent. But before we go any further, let's rewind to the year 2018. Black Panther just came out and everybody had fidget spinners. But for Tyler, he was coming off his 5th consecutive season scoring at least 70 points. You put those kinds of numbers up and you're gonna get paid. In the summer of 2018, Seguin signed an 8-year deal worth $78.8 million, paying him $9.85 per year until the 2026-27 season. So after that 2020 injury, Seguin is finally back in full form. He says, "I've been away from what my routine's been. That's made me successful and got me that contract. I'm back on it now. That's why I'm excited. That's why I have high expectations." Sergei Bobrovsky, Aleksander Barkov, Jack Eichel, and Anze Kopitar, $10 million. Spending 7 seasons with the Blue Jackets, notching 2 Vezinas, Bobrovsky's contract was up in 2019, so he decided to test out the free agent market and inked a substantial $70 million deal with the Florida Panthers, paying him $10 million a year for the next 7 years. Unfortunately, Bobrovsky hasn't put up those Vezina numbers just yet in Florida. He did have a solid 2021-22 season with 39 wins in 54 games played. However, this season, he's off to a bit of a slow start, but there's a lot of hockey to be played, so maybe we'll see that Vezina winning goalie we all know he can be. His teammate Aleksander Barkov has proved himself to be one of the best two-way centers in the league. Last year, he finished with 88 points, and just before the start of this regular season, Barkov signed a contract extension worth $80 million, paying him $10 million for the next 8 years. Jack Eichel has found himself a new home in Vegas, and although he arrived injured and in recovery last year, this season he's fitting in the Golden Knights lineup like a glove. A $10 million glove, that is. In 2018, Jack Eichel signed an 8-year extension worth $80 million with the Buffalo Sabres. At the time, both the Sabres and Eichel were on the same page, and Eichel was a rising star in the league. In the 2018-2019 season, Eichel exploded, tallying a career-high 82 points. Then the following season in 2019-2020, he scored a career-high 36 goals to go along with 78 points in 68 games played. But then Eichel suffered a major neck injury and tension seemed to build between him and the organization. Without getting too into the thick of things, Eichel wasn't happy playing there. I mean, why would he? The team was awful, and the Sabres doctors did not permit Eichel to undergo disc replacement surgery on his neck. And that caused some serious drama that lasted way too long, but eventually ended with a happy ending for both the Sabres and Eichel, as the Sabres traded Eichel to Vegas, and in return they got Peyton Krebs, Alex Tuch, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick. Plus, have you seen Buffalo and Vegas play this year? These two splitting up from each other was the best decision for everyone, and Eichel is still getting $10 million a year until 2025-2026. Anze Kopitar. After helping the Kings win 2 Stanley Cups in 2012 and 2014, in 2016, Kopitar was up for a contract extension and signed a deal for 8 years worth $80 million. Kopitar has been a force in the league and has the stats and hardware to show for it. He's tallied 13 60-plus point seasons, 2 Selke trophies, a Lady Byng trophy, and most recently the Marc Messier Leadership Award. 17 seasons into his career and now 35 years old, Kopitar is still a huge part of the Kings lineup, still fitting in that first line center spot. Carey Price, Jonathan Taves, and Patrick Kane. $10.5 million. Carey Price is the highest paid goaltender in the league right now. In the summer of 2017, Price signed an extension worth $84 million over 8 years. This contract extension came just 2 seasons after Price won the Vezina and the Hart Trophy as league MVP. Price was at the age of 30 when he signed the extension, and unfortunately, age has caught up with him as he sits on the LTIR recovering from a knee surgery. His status is unknown, and Price still has 4 years left on his contract. Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane both signed the exact same contract on the same day in 2014. 8 years valued at $84 million. Both Taves and Kane have been the backbone of the Blackhawks since the 2007-2008 season, and together have hoisted up the Stanley Cup 3 times. These two have given Chicago everything they've got, and now it may be time we see them move on, as their contracts have 1 more year left before they become free agents. Mitch Marner, $10.893 million a year. Who can forget the Mitch Marner contract extension accompanied by the Brad Marchand troll tweet? In 2019, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Mitch Marner agreed to a contract extension worth $10.893 million a year for the next 6 years. This extension came after Marner recorded a career-high 94 points over 82 games in the 2018-2019 season. Since signing the extension, Marner has proven his worth, averaging a point per game for the next 3 seasons. John Tavares, Drew Doughty, $11 million. After spending 9 seasons with the New York Islanders, on July 1st, 2018, John Tavares signed a 7-year, $77 million deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs. In his 9 seasons with the Islanders, Tavares scored 50-plus points in 8 of those seasons and 60-plus points in 7 of them. His puck control is at an elite level, and he can put the puck in the back of the net. Coming back to his hometown, of course the 6-time All-Star was going to get paid. His contract is up in the 2024-25 season, but something tells me we're going to see John Tavares retire as a Leaf. Drew Doughty, much like Anze Kopitar, is a huge part of the LA Kings DNA. He won 2 Stanley Cups with the franchise and the Norris Trophy in 2016. In the 2017-2018 season, Doughty tallied 60 points in 82 games, which led up to his contract extension of 8 years for $88 million. Unfortunately, Doughty hasn't had that kind of production since inking the extension, as he dealt with injuries and surgery on his wrist. Doughty is now 32 years old and has 5 years left on his contract. Erik Carlson, $11.5 million. He was once one of the premier offensive defensemen the NHL had to offer, posting multiple 70-point seasons and even an 82-point season in 2015-2016. Erik Carlson was a threat anytime he had the puck. Well, at least that was the case when he was playing in Ottawa. San Jose signed Carlson to an 8-year contract worth $92 million, and looking at that now, it's not the best deal, but San Jose thought they were going to get, at the very least, a 60-point offensive defenseman joining their blue line. From 2018 through to 2022, he has yet to record over 45 points. During his time in San Jose, he's run into several injury problems, but on the upside, he's having a great 2022 season so far. His contract ends in the 2026-27 season, so maybe he'll stick around and help the team retool and maybe make some playoff runs. Austin Matthews, $11.64 million. Entering the league in 2016, Matthews made a splash in the league with his explosive scoring ability. He's won the Calder Trophy, the Maurice Richard Trophy twice, the Hart Trophy, the Ted Lindsay Award, and he's a 5-time All-Star. You're damn right that kid is gonna get paid. In February of 2019, Matthews signed a 5-year contract extension worth $11.64 million a year, and he's worth every penny. The only question is, after his 5 years are up with the Leafs, where do you see Matthews signing? Do you think he's coming back to Toronto? I personally don't, but let us know in the comments below. He's definitely not going to Arizona. Do not say Arizona. If you say it, I'm gonna delete it. Artemi Panarin, $11.642 million. The bread man, starting his career off with the Blackhawks and spending 4 years with them from 2015 through to the 2018-2019 season, Panarin quickly turned heads as he put up impressively high numbers. In those 4 seasons with the Blackhawks, he had 77 points, which won him the Calder, then 74 points, then 82 points, and then 87 points. He was electric and quickly proved to be a top forward in this league. When he hit free agency in 2019, he was the belle of the ball, but inevitably signed a 7-year, $81.5 million deal with the New York Rangers, paying him an annual salary of $11.642 million. Over 186 games played with the Rangers, Panarin notched 249 points. Definitely money well spent for the New York Rangers. Conor McDavid, $12.5 million. Now, there's no way you didn't see this one coming. The best player in the world making the most money in the league? Yeah, big shocker there. The Edmonton Oilers locked up Conor McDavid with an 8-year, $100 million deal after the 2016-2017 season, in which McDavid won his first Art Ross, Hart, and Ted Lindsay trophy. Since signing the extension, he added 3 more Art Ross trophies, 2 more Ted Lindsay awards, and another Hart trophy. He's coming off 2 100-plus point seasons, last year notching 123, and this season, he's well on pace for at least matching that, if not passing it. Thanks for watching our videos. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.